These aren't just random jersey numbers. There's hidden meanings behind them, and Lionel Messi's number isn't even his. See, back in 2007, when Messi started making a name for himself, all eyes were on him, especially the legendary Ronaldinho's. And as soon as he saw Messi's potential, Ronaldinho had no choice. He took Messi under his wing and made it a side project to turn Messi into a superstar. But their teammates didn't know the two became such close friends, and the rest of Barcelona actually wanted Ronaldinho gone because they felt he was only playing for the crowd and not for the team. And to be honest, just him off. So in 2008, Ronald even decided to sign with AC Milan. But instead of just leaving Barcelona on a bad note, he made it his mission to turn Messi into the greatest player ever. And what better way to motivate Messi than handing over his own jersey number? And well, right when Messi put on that number 10, he began setting records that'll never be beat. And there's no way it was a coincidence. Now, a legend passing down his number. That's cool and all, but one number was so controversial. It ruined Gianluigi Buffon's career. See, back in 2000, Buffon was becoming one of football's most impenetrable goalkeepers. So what better way to celebrate than changing his jersey number? But little did he know, this would spark a worldwide controversy. He just wanted to show the world he had balls. And when Buffon revealed his new jersey, he didn't even realize his new number was beyond offensive. And the history behind it is so tragic, I'm not even allowed to talk about it. But the truth was, Buffon didn't mean to offend anybody. I mean, his reasoning behind the number was actually hilarious. He said, "I chose 88 because it reminds me of 4 balls, and we all know what it means to have balls." Hold up, man. Did he just say? You know what? Never mind. Now, even though Buffon's number was supposed to be a joke, he was actually being accused of supporting the Holocaust. So eventually, he said, "I didn't know the hidden meaning of 88, so I'll change numbers if that'll help." And, well, that's exactly what Buffon did. He never wore it. Instead, he switched to 77. And after a controversy like that, he damn near had to pray to get out of it, just like David Beckham did. 'Cause his jersey number came from Jesus. Yeah, and it all happened during his controversial 2003 season. See, at the time, Beckham was completely revolutionizing football. I mean, his looks and fashion made him more famous off the field and on it. But it all started getting to his head. See, Manchester was concerned that Beckham was choosing his celebrity status over the team. And at one point, the team's manager, Alex Ferguson, literally saw Beckham walk on the field. And Beckham was bringing so much attention to the team that Alex just couldn't stand having him around anymore. So after a 0-2 loss to Arsenal, so he literally kicked a cleat into Beckham's face. Sir Alex Ferguson didn't try to deny it. He did kick a football boot that hit David Beckham in the head. What would have happened if the boot had been on the other Now, even though it was partially Alex's fault, this incident was a final straw, and it was finally time to sell Beckham. So Alex called up the one team willing to deal with Beckham's nonsense and shipped him away to Madrid. But to be honest, who could say Beckham took this very personally? He wanted to prove that he was more than his hair, and playing in Manchester wasn't going to be his last dance. So there was only one jersey number he had on his mind, and it was worn by the Black Jesus himself, Michael Jordan. Yeah, and that next year, Beckham put on number 23 to lead Madrid further in Champions League than Manchester and prove that a jersey number can change your life like it did for Antoine Griezmann. See, throughout Antoine, and even though he was practicing every single day, teams everywhere rejected him. But deep down, he knew the player he could become all he needed was a shot. And it wasn't until 2005, when he was 14 years old, that he finally got that opportunity. See, his dad was the mayor and used his political influence to get Antoine a spot on their hometown teams. So when he was scheduled to play against the PSG Youth Academy with scouts watching worldwide, Antoine put on his long-sleeve shirt number 7 jersey and prepared to leave everything he had on the pitch, because that's exactly what his idol would have wanted him. So when Antoine came out, he broke ankles, set up his teammates for goals, and led his team to a dominant victory. And the scouts were speechless, wondering who the hell was number 7. And Antoine admitted he became this great player because he dropped a like and subscribed the channel. I'm trying to make you become a legend. So what are you doing? Click it. Anyways, Antoine also admitted that I wear the number 7 and long sleeves cause I want to be like Beckham. He's the best. Just look at Antoine, man. Imagine he didn't show out in that one game. He would have been heartbroken, just like you're going to be after you hear the story of Frankie de Jong's jersey number. And it all started in 1997. When Frankie was born, see, he grew up in a family that lived and breathed football. So right from a young age, Frankie was expected to become a legend. But he was in the right hands because both of his parents played football and his dad was an amateur pro. But it was Frankie's grandpa that influenced him the most. Even though Frankie was only a kid, any time he spent outside of school was training with his grandpa. And Frankie became so great at football, he was already being scouted when he was only 5 years old. Yeah, this kid was insane, but after all, he had dreams of one day playing for Barcelona, so he had a long road ahead. Then from 2004 to 2016, when he played for Willem II and Ajax, Frankie became a worldwide phenomenon, and he was just a step away from accomplishing his dream. So, coming into his 21st birthday, he wanted to turn up. He wanted to celebrate big with his family. But as he was getting ready for the day, his phone rang and Frankie found out his grandpa passed away. Now, he didn't want to believe it. His 21st birthday of all days. Frankie didn't know what to say. But then he thought, would his grandpa want him to be sad and not accomplish the dream they always talked about? Well, since his grandpa dedicated his final years to help him become the star player, Frankie decided to switch his jersey number for him, and he chose to represent the one number that made sense. 21, and Frankie knew there was only one thing left to do. He had to dedicate everything and make it to Barcelona for his grandpa. And that very next year, on January 23rd, 2019, Frankie did it. Barcelona offered him a 5-year contract, and Frankie made sure his entire family was there to see his dream come true. But because his grandpa didn't get to see him make it, Frankie made sure to choose his iconic jersey number there just so his grandpa could be on the field with him instead. And well, he can thank his grandpa for helping to become one of the greatest midfielders in football history. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that was a hard section to get through, but when I found out Cristiano Ronaldo's jersey number literally scared him, I knew we couldn't end things without you hearing about this. August 12th, 2003, Ronaldo became the highest paid teenager in Premier League history right after he signed a $19 million contract with Manchester. All because Ronaldo made a name for himself, rocking his iconic 28. So it was only right he wanted to continue wearing the number. But the first time he walked in Manchester facility, the team's manager, Alex Ferguson, had different plans. See, he had just dealt away the face of their team, David Beckham, even though the fans loved him. So when the news broke that a skinny Portuguese kid was coming in to replace their hero, the fans were. But after all, Alex knew Ronaldo's potential, even if he didn't know it himself yet. So he pulled Ronaldo into his office and offered him a brand new jersey number. I remember when I left Lisbon, New England, Alex Ferguson said to me, "Listen, now I want that you take the number 7. And I was surprised because I knew the guys who had that shirt. Now, at first, Ronaldo was actually scared about putting on the number. After all, it was wrecked by some of football's greatest players ever. And Ronaldo knew if he didn't live up to that height, wearing the number could ruin his career. But fast forward 20 years. Not only did he become better than David Beckham, not only did he become the best player in Manchester history, he's still at the top of the game. Not bad for a kid who was scared to wear a number, I guess. But see, some players were scared for the right reasons, like the time a player's entire family was held hostage, or when one player was driving a Ferrari and it nearly exploded. And I know you want to hear more about that. So click this video right here. These are football players that almost died, and trust me, you don't want to as this, so what are you still doing here, man? Click it.